Hello and welcome to That Shooting Show. My name's Steve Anderson. I am your humble host. Want to let you know we are a proud service of Walther Firearms, who wish me to remind you that all of the competition appropriate Walther Firearms do come with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you get one and for whatever reason you don't like it, they will send you a shipping label and you can ship it back and they will ship you your money back. It's that simple. I don't think there's another manufacturer that is willing to do that. So Walther Firearms, go handle a PDP or any of the other great Walther Firearms and see if they fit your liking. And if they do, take it home. If it doesn't suit you in any way, they'll take it back and give you your money back. And of course, Targets USA manufactures the finest steel targetry on the planet. CR Speed, as you know, manufactures the finest gun handling gadgetry you can wrap around your waist or anywhere else. And of course, the AMG-Lab.com Commanderson timer continues to turn heads and blow minds by putting the time into the tablet. Hunter's HD Gold, as you know, is the only eyewear that I wear, and I was wearing it this past weekend. We were at the Falling Steel World Series in Marengo, Ohio, and Brian Conley was there from Hunter's HD Gold, and he sequestered me into his van to do the Hunter's HD Gold podcast. Now, he does quite a bit more editing than we do around here on That Shooting Show, so not real sure when that will air, but there will be a podcast coming soon with me and Brian Conley on the Hunter's HD Gold podcast, which I believe is called Behind the Lens. And of course, OutdoorDynamics.net remanufactures the finest competition ammunition you can dispense from a Freedom Seed dispenser. And I was fortunate enough to spend Saturday with John Royer from OutdoorDynamics.net, and he did come in second place in the limited division of the Falling Steel World Series. More on that here in a minute. And of course, his buddy Nathan Carter from ShootingSportsInnovations.com. Yes, that's right. Shooting Sport. I usually can't type it right, but I can usually say it right. I got my .nets and my .coms confused there. ShootingSportsInnovations.com is a lot to see because there is a lot to type. And when you finally get done typing it in, backspacing and redoing it, you'll be treated to a vast array of shooting sports accessories, many that you didn't even know that you needed. And of course, you can always go to upcoming classes at AndersonShooting.com and see what we're up to. We have a couple of middle management opportunities on the books. If those are to your liking, jump in on those. If they are not, let me know when you're available and we will set one up for you. You can always come to the beautiful private ranch here in Newark, Ohio for a one-day private class. Weekdays are better if available during the weekday, but we do have some weekends available if that's more to your liking. So you can come to the private ranch here in Newark. See, when you live in Newark, you get that down to one syllable, it becomes NERC. And they actually even write that on the UPS packages, NERC. But if you're not from here, you might say Newark. Or if you're from New Jersey, you probably know Newark. But if you live here in Newark, Ohio, you pronounce it NERC. But you can come here very close to the beautiful Longaberger Basket Building and enjoy a private day with me, and we will cover literally everything. And of course, if you want to get a class in your area, you can get a free class by becoming the class organizer. And you can always do mental management online. Just let me know when you're available and we'll make that happen for you. All right, so we did a video. When did we do that? It must have been Friday. We've enjoyed one of the most beautiful weeks of weather that Ohio has ever had. Those of you in this area know the last 5 days have been wonderful. Today, not so much. It went from 80 degrees to 40 degrees overnight, and it is not awesome now. But on Friday, it was wonderful. And I went out and filmed a video on partial targets. And we compared the center of the available target area to aiming for alphas at 7 yards, 10 yards, and 5 yards. And you can go to YouTube, go to Anderson Shooting on YouTube, and you can see the full video there. Suffice to say that the center of the available target area was better at every distance. We did 3 runs on left side partial, right side partial, and half the A zone partial. And the center of the available target area was better on average for every single run. There were a couple of cases where a perfect run with all alphas was a little bit better than the average for the center of the available target area, but the center of the available target area was at least one hit factor higher better for an average of 3 runs on each distance. So go check out that video on YouTube. Just go to Anderson Shooting on YouTube and you can check it out there. It is available for your immediate perusal. We got a letter. So we have a lot of clients with cool names. The coolest name we've ever worked with is a guy named Travis Deathrage. So if you think you have a cooler name than Travis Deathrage, that's going to be a tough act to follow. But this guy, he's got a super cool last name. His last name is Heater. And that's pretty cool for a guy who packs a heater. And he says, "Dear Mr. Anderson," in my best Matrix voice, "I've had to take about 4 to 5 months off of shooting due to some life work issues and have not been practicing or competing the way that I want to. I've recently been able to work out the issues and have started to get back into the swing of things. I planned on going to a local match on Saturday, so I pulled out the middle management notebook and flow chart and started to do the preset work. Why am I going to the match? How do I want to feel? What kind of result am I looking for? Although very basic and simple, I just wanted to get back into a subconscious stage plan, a singular focus once the beep goes off. I wanted to use this match as an opportunity to practice competing again." So, one of the things we give you in the mental management program is we give you a flow chart that governs and controls every thought you need to have for your competition day. If you're prone to overthinking, all you got to do is get on this flow chart. It will guide you through every thought that you need to have. If you're prone to not taking it too seriously, which isn't very many of you folks listening to this program, it will also guide and control every thought you need to have for your competition day. And when you learn to control your thoughts and you can stay on that flow chart, you will be living the dream. Just like Mr. Heater. There were 4 stages in a classifier at this match, morning and afternoon squads, so I had the opportunity to shoot 2 different platforms and get a lot of practice with my process to make it normal again. I chose to shoot carry optics in the morning and limited in the afternoon. The match went great. I would say my mental process was probably at 90%, and I'll take that at this point. I was able to get a subconscious stage plan for every stage, and then all I had to do was shoot at the speed of sight. The shooting seemed effortless, and after each stage, I made a positive imprint for my self-image with the word great. Now that sounds like confidence being manufactured. That sounds like using confidence to predict future success. We'll talk more on that in just a minute. Okay, where were we here? A combination of a subconscious stage plan, singular focus, and shot calling was all that was necessary to take first place in carry optics and first in limited, a 4th place finish overall to boot. And he's smart. So overall is gravy. Your division is the biscuit. Overall is the gravy. If overall is great, and that's good gravy, that's wonderful. But do not concern yourselves with the overall. Your job is to do well in your division first and foremost. I couldn't wait to make the journal entry for this match so that my successes here can lead to more in the future. I just wanted to thank you. Oh, there's some dog noise for you. And some more. Just wanted to thank you for giving me the tools to be the best competitor that I can be on any given day. That's Luna punctuating the emphasis with the barking. Now that we're recording on YouTube, we don't really have a pause button anymore, so the dog noise may be more of a thing. And if you folks are new to this program, yes, there will be dog noise occasionally. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm very sorry. So, we did go on Saturday to the Falling Steel World Series held at the beautiful Cardinal Shooting Range in Marengo, Ohio, and it was a very interesting match to attend. There were 30 steel targets on every stage. I believe there were 7 stages, and I think one stage might have only had 28, but the vast majority had 30. You know, normal USPSA division rules were present regarding capacity and those things. But I have never seen a match more rewarding of a singular focus. Anybody that thought about speed, took numerous makeup shots, and I saw some standing reloads that were 6 seconds long. And, standing reloads are always unfortunate, but the most unfortunate standing reload is bang, 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 click. Oh my, what has happened to my firearm? Why is it not dispensing? What's happened? Oh, I think I've got it figured out. I need to reload. Okay, drop the mag, put the new one in. If the slide doesn't lock back, this next one is so unfortunate. Here, I've replenished my ammunition supply, and I'm ready to pull the trigger again and do some more dispensing, and nothing is happening. What on earth has caused this? You forgot to rack the slide. I saw that so many times. It was so unfortunate. And I think over the course of all the competitors I watched, 30 steel targets, I think I saw a grand total of 3 clean runs. 30 shots, 30 pieces of steel down. Now, I'm not suggesting that anybody could have gone and shot seven stages on little steel with clean runs, but out of all the runs that I watched, I can only remember 3, maybe 4 clean runs. And that caused me to think about strategy. What were the strategic options, right? So for example, let's say you walked up to a stage with 30 relatively small steel targets on it. Okay, they had many poppers, many, so that's many, M-A-N-Y, many, so it'd be M-A-N-Y, mini-mini, so they were miniature, so they were minis, but there were also many of them, and they were all minis, so they were many poppers. And they had some little tombstones going on, and they had some, I suppose you'd call them miniature IPSC steel, like A and C zones, but they were kind of small. And they had some full-size poppers out there. Sorry. Yes. Okay, so, and I'm just wondering, people were so concerned with, I'm going to shoot these ones, I'm going to shoot these ones, I'm going to shoot those ones, I'm going to shoot the big ones, I'm going to shoot the little ones, I'm going to shoot all the little ones first for whatever reason, and then I'm going to shoot the big ones, or I'm going to shoot the big ones first. Here's the one making all the noise. You can see her on the YouTube. Yeah, this is the small Great Dane, who's the one making all the ruckus right now. And all that's fine. You know, if you've got a reason to shoot these ones and then those ones, I get it. But the only time I ever heard a smart strategy being discussed, you always crank up the electronic ears real loud so I can hear people. And I actually heard at one point somebody in the background say, this match is all about sights and trigger. Do you think? Sights and trigger. I mean, folks, a poor shot can only be produced by a sight problem or a trigger problem. And we saw a lot of both. We saw some people honking on those triggers so hard, shots were going into the ground, and ironically, that would cause people to aim more and hit the trigger even harder. So what I want to talk to you about today is strategy, skill, and confidence. Because this match that I went to got me thinking about strategy, skill, and confidence. So strategy, skill, and confidence are the 3 components required for success in competition shooting or anything else you're ever going to do in the entire world. Strategy meaning you know what to do. Skill meaning you've done it before and you can do it. You've done it a bunch, ideally. And confidence meaning you know, trust, or believe you'll be successful by some measure. So in the case of strategy, what do I need to do to be successful here? Well, in the case of USPSA or IPSC, you need a stage plan. Steel Challenge, you need a stage plan. IDPA, you need a stage plan. Okay, in this match, you needed a stage plan. The stage plan is pretty simple. You got 30 steel targets all in a nice, neat little row. And unless you see a strategy benefit to breaking up these arrays, most people just shot them in order. And it's just as good a strategy as anything else. Managing reloads might cause you to do this array, then that array, because you don't really want to run dry. If you can help it, we'll talk more on that in a minute. So let's just analyze this. Right, let's analyze and then let's strategize. Now, memory here was not super important. You didn't need to memorize the location of every single steel target. You're just going to stand behind the table and shoot what you see. So memorization, not a huge deal, unless you've got some sort of unorthodox target order. Like if you're trying to remember to go this way and then that way, or do these and then do those over there, you might need to memorize that. But there's not a whole lot going on there. Visualize, because there wasn't a strong memory component here, visualization was really more critical for the sight picture that you need to see. Right? Iron sights had it the worst. These were, or I should say, the most difficult. Iron sight has several different levels of vision, and this would be pretty much the most precise level of vision all day long. And people that had green fiber optics had some interesting things to deal with because there was a lot of green steel. I think at least 2 of the stages, maybe 3, had all the stages painted lime green, the exact same color as your fiber optic green. And that's okay. You probably need more black outline rear sight and front sight than you do fiber optic anyway. And those of you shooting limited, shooting iron sights that were shooting high, were probably shooting the fiber instead of letting the front settle into the rear. Okay? Now, the biggest strategy error that I saw was the conscious control of speed. And I am resolutely convinced that the conscious control of speed is a major strategy error in all of these practical shooting sports. Why would you ever shoot faster or slower than you can see what you need to see? Why? I'm going to speed up here. Well, okay. If you're outrunning what you need to see. It reminds me of Smoke and Hope and Steel Challenge. Boy, you want to hear some funny comments? Go hang out at Smoke and Hope. Well, I don't need to see nothing on them big ones there. I need $1 in for a stoplight. And then they miss the big refrigerator numerous times. Then they maybe do something different. But why would you ever shoot faster or slower than you can see what you need to see? And all you hit factor wizards out there, that's great. Hey, it's a 6 hit factor. Glorious. Oh, it's a 9. Well, that's wonderful that you know that. I have never talked to a hit factor mathematician who tells me they will shoot slower or faster than they can see what they need to see. I haven't seen it. And for this Falling Steel match, we had the target order, we had the reloads, and ammunition management was a huge time saver for those that did it well. My buddies John Royer and from Masterpiece Arms, David Lyell, they had smoking reloads. And most of them were planned perfectly to avoid running the gun dry. On a 30-round steel stage, you really want to plan that so you're not doing it. So a standing reload is going to happen, but a surprise standing reload is even worse, especially if your slide closes and you don't have one in the chamber and you forget to rack one. Oh, that's painful. That's painful. So that covers strategy. USPSA, IPSC, IDPA, it's nothing more than your stage plan. And in the minutes before you shoot, if you are thinking about anything other than your stage plan, you're overthinking or underthinking. That's it. That's all you need to be thinking about is your stage plan. Now, skill is the next component. And skill is the technical ability that you have without conscious thought. Do you have the technical skill sufficient for the task at hand? Can you shoot a 6-inch steel target at 10 yards? Most people can. And skill is almost never the problem. I can't remember the last time I talked to a shooter that said, I went through a match and had a poor result because I'm not capable of hitting full-size USPSA targets at about 8 yards. I went through a match and I did lousy because I do not have the technical ability to hit a full-size USPSA target at 15 yards. Everybody listening to this program has technical ability. And if there is a problem, something you don't know how to do, some kind of weird mover, or that's about the only thing I can think of that you just wouldn't know what to do. Maybe some kind of goofy stage where I've never dealt with before, but even that, I mean, all it's going to do is make you shoot one-handed, and you can do that, right? You can shoot the gun you can shoot your firearm. It's not a firearms. It's not a hands gun. You can shoot it one-handed, right? But if there is anything weird or difficult, it's going to affect everybody in division and class the same. And the average USPSA stage has the easiest shots in the world of shooting. Think about the shooting world. Think about the other shooting sports that are out there, and then compare them to your average USPSA match. Easiest shots in the world of shooting. What makes them difficult? What makes them difficult is getting in a hurry. And there wasn't a single person at this Falling Steel World Series match that couldn't shoot a 6-inch target at 10 yards. Every single person there could do it because they all hit at least one of them. Pardon me 1 second. There is no pause button, so I'll try to get off camera here for the YouTubers. Hang on 1 second. It's unfortunate. Hey, we're living the YouTube life. You guys told me to get on YouTube. We're getting on YouTube. If that means you got to watch me blow my nose, so be it. All right. But everybody listening to this program can hit a 6-inch target at 10 yards. It's not that difficult. But getting in a hurry is what makes it difficult. Now, confidence is the third component. Do you know, trust, believe, or accept that the results will be okay, acceptable, or desirable? Do you believe that you can execute your plan? Do you believe you can make these shots? I think a lot of folks took the shooting for granted because they were thinking about going fast. We always talk about the fourth or fifth plate on the plate rack. Anytime there's a plate rack on a stage, most of the trouble will start on the third or fourth plate. You know, one or two goes down pretty good. Hey, this is going pretty great. I can speed up. We saw that so many times. First 3 shots, boom, boom, boom. The squirrel wakes up. Hey, man, you can be going faster. You can be going faster. The clock's running. Get on it. And then miss, blah, 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 blah. And we'll talk about how to keep the squirrel at bay here in a minute. But when you walk up to the stage, do you believe you can execute your plan? Do you believe you can make these shots? That's pretty much all you need to believe. What gets people into trouble is thinking or worrying that they can't or may not be able to make the shots as fast as everybody else. Well, I'm here to tell you, the few clean runs that I saw at this match were so boring. So boring. There was another dude on the squad whose strategy was volume of fire. And he did pretty good. He had some very, very good times. But it wasn't a one-for-one situation. But man, was it fun to watch. I mean, it was pew, 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 reload, pew, 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 pew. Man, so many pews. He had some pretty good times. If he'd gone 1-for-1, his times would have been even better. But man, was it exciting to watch compared to the clean runs. Everybody was filming it. It was exciting. Now, strategy is provided by your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is great at evaluating options and making decisions. It's really, really good at that. That's what it's for. But let's get all that done before the timer goes off so we don't need to do it while we're shooting. This is studying the map before the drive and then putting it in the glove box. You can't drive very well with a map open on your knee. You can do it. It's possible. You can kind of look at the map and you can kind of drive. But you will never drive as well with the map on your lap as you will with that sucker in the glove box. So let's get those things done. And then you've got another choice to make. What will you choose to think about to occupy the conscious mind while you're shooting? It's another choice you've got to make. Well, I do best when I ain't thinking about nothing. That's great. That's wonderful. Me too. But it's not reliable 100% of the time. You will not be able to go to National Stage 1 and thinking about nothing. If you're going to the World Shoot, you will not be able to go to the World Shoot Stage 1 and think about nothing. And if the conscious mind wakes up and gets involved, you will be evaluating options and making decisions while shooting. And many runs that I saw at this Falling Steel World Series match started out great. And then the squirrel woke up and got him. So the squirrel's sleeping, right? You get up to the line. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to see what I need to see. Boom, down, boom, down, boom, down. The squirrel wakes up and goes, "Oh, okay, what's going on? I was taking a nap, but you're shooting. Hey, you could be going a lot faster than that. Your first 3 shots went down. That's not normal. You don't normally hit everything with the first shot. That means you must need to go faster. Okay, well, let's go faster." I saw it so many times. Run started out great. Then the squirrel woke up and got involved. You've got to give the squirrel something to do to keep him busy. And of course, the squirrel's your conscious mind. And skill is almost never the problem. There wasn't a single shooter at this match that wasn't capable of shooting these little plates at 10 yards. Not a single one, because I saw him do it. I just didn't see him do it very consistently. It's because they were changing what they were thinking about. And the mistake that people usually make is thinking about a skill that doesn't require conscious thought. Think about all the things you can, that's kind of ironic. Think about your subconscious skill. Make a list of the things you can do in the shooting world without thinking about them. The easiest examples are draws and reloads. You don't need to be thinking about that. And the purpose of practice is very simply sufficient repetition to make the desired level of skill available without conscious thought. That's it. There wasn't a single shooter at this match that couldn't make those shots. What got him into trouble was thinking about subconscious skill. What got him into trouble was getting in a hurry. And when you're working on skill, repetition is far more important than perfection, as isolated perfection is useless. If you decide to change a technique fundamentally and you do one perfect rep, that is useless. That will never show up as a subconscious skill. You've only done it once. And you probably had to use your conscious mind to do it. But if you decide, I think I have a bullet point for this. Let me just check my notes here. Oh, yes, here we go, of course. Figure out the best way for you to do everything the sport requires and rep it until it's the only way you can do it. Now, the only skill I saw at the Falling Steel match was some trigger jerk, and ironically, those folks usually aimed harder and jerked harder. You know, that's the old, "I've got a perfect sight picture. I'm going to crush the trigger so that I don't lose my perfect sight picture, and it's, oh, I missed. That means I need to aim more." Then they aim more, and then the more they aim and the more perfect their sight picture is, the harder they hit that trigger. This is literally why I recommend people shoot groups. When you shoot groups, you learn that trigger, as the shot gets more difficult, trigger is more important than sight as long as sight is acceptable. And ironically, these trigger jerkers would literally aim more and jerk the trigger harder. And then they get emotional, and man, that just, woo-wee, that takes the crazy train right off the rails. Now, confidence is the third component, which is provided by the self-image. Your self-image will always give you what is normal. If you look at how you live your daily life, your normal day is done with things that you normally do. You get up at the same time, you eat the same thing, you drive to work at the same time, you do the same things at work, you come home, you do the same things when you get home. That's your self-image. These are the things that are normal for me to do. What is normal in your shooting? Is it normal for you to struggle with the classifier? Is it normal for you to shoot hoser stages great but struggle on partials? Whatever is normal in your shooting is a habit and an attitude and will stay that way until you change it. And the confidence... Oh, we're going to have more dog noise. This is going to be an exceptional amount of dog noise. The pod daughters just got home. We'll have dog greetings, dog noise, dog visits. Okay, so whatever you believe is normal, whatever's happened to you in the past, is going to be reinforced or has been reinforced by you accepting it, propagating it, and making it continue to be normal. Now, if you want confidence to be normal, that can only come from past success predicting future success. Is it normal for you to shoot steel well? Can you go to a 30-round steel stage and smoke 30 targets in a row? If that's normal for you to do, then you'll be able to do it. But if you go in there thinking, man, I'm not a very good steel shooter, I'm not even sure why you signed up for that match if you don't believe you're a good steel shooter. All right, I think the extra dog noise means it's time to call it a day. So, the final piece is confidence. And I'm watching you guys on the social media. When you guys are posting matches about things that didn't go well and how you always do this and always do that and you can't do this and you can't do that, I'm waiting for you. I'll be right there with my thumbs. I might even be on the throne of contemplation, just waiting to see what you're saying is normal and whether that's what you want or not. So strategy, skill, and confidence is conscious, subconscious, and self-image. Skill is never the problem for most people. What's usually a problem is strategy. You didn't know what to do, not specifically, and you didn't believe you could do it. Or you didn't believe the result was going to be good enough. So these are things I can help you fix. We are going to be on the road for about the next week. We're going to go to Maine and do some training in Maine. So email response might be a little slow for the next couple of days, so please be patient with me and pardon the dog noise here as we're almost done. But we will be back very soon. And once again, if you want to do a private lesson here in Newark, Ohio, or mental management online, or a free class in your area, you just let me know. And until we connect that way, be like me, do what I do, say it with me. 1, 2, 3, get to work.